Hello. All right. So at this point, I wanted to kind of touch on sort of the foot detailing. I've gone in and, sewn up most of this foot. Apparently there's a couple little pieces here. But most of it's been adjusted and sewn. A little piece right in here. And then I just did like a pen pulley to get all these little faces here in. There was a slight little tiny issue with I ended up with on the bottom an extra loop that I didn't really need, and I sort of you can see it right through here. It's this one here. No, not quite. There it is. Is that it? Kind of runs all over the foot. But I added that in because I ended up being a little off. But that's the coolness about this process, is that there is all these loops to kind of channel, and it doesn't go into the geometry. And I did tuck it. If I had done the foot probably slightly different, or if I had maybe just kept, it's sometimes hard to keep track of all these extra pieces, then I wouldn't have this. It did create a single triangle in there, and there might even be a way to clean that up, but I'm not going to worry about it too much because it is the foot. It's all the way at the bottom there. It's not like we're going to go, oh my goodness. So it's kind of unacceptable to hide polys in there sometimes. So at this point, though, look at this. We got this foot. We got all these pieces. I'm going to just talk about sort of the detailing. When you're working with a foot, you can do a lot of little variations. So I got this nice curvature here. I got the ankle kind of out here indicated. It's a lot less geometry on the back side. You got some more stuff to play with through here. So we can start moving some of that around. And you might want to make the foot not so flat, but it does work out nice to just have flat feet in this case, because again, they're walking on it. Unless for some reason the bottom of your foot is going to be really prevalent in your animation, and maybe it is, but in that case, we'd want to kind of come in here and kind of soft pull some of the foot more into different positionings. Kind of give a little more customization to the foot. Give it a little more here, a little more pull here, right? So you go, see, I get a little more roundness through here. And you can shape it kind of however you want at this point. Everything's kind of connected up. And some things to keep in mind, like I really maybe want to accent, since this is going to be kind of like an Argonian foot, I'm going to accent more of these aspects here. Let's turn off that. This is kind of the in-between toe zones. I'm going to pull a little down there, just give it a little more emphasis into the there. And we can kind of, well, let's use our old friend, the Sculpt Geometry tool. Now you could take this on over to ZBrush or something too and kind of get these same effects, but I'm just going to do it here because I don't want to have to mess with it. And I'm going to use this. I like the Sculpt Geometry tool. I'll just touch it. Again, I have a 0.01. It depends on how big the thing is. If you see the grid is only like this. She's staying on it fairly evenly. So she's small, really, compared to. So I just want to kind of tweak. But also, this is the spot where maybe the pull is going to help some. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. And if you look at feet, they tend to have a lot of kind of overlap, or the big toe is going to push. The big toe is going to be the most independent toe in this whole scenario. We can move our big toes more than other toes, really. Everyone else kind of works in conjunction with the rest of your body. So I'll set it up so that this toe has a little more independence, autonomy, as it were. Let's kind of scale it a little bit more. Let me take off that discrete rotate. I can kind of rotate it how I want. and the little toe tends to really press up against the other toe. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to use, see, use this sculpt geometry tool to really kind of emphasize. And they're always, our toes are weird. Toes are a weird thing, so we want kind of this fun little mash up against one another. That might help to go in here and push them outwards. See? Oh, that's too much, so let's relax that. Relax that a little bit. Oops, smooth a little bit back in. See? You can individually vert grab too. Let's size that down a real bit. There we go. Right. See that soft select is really helpful there too, for creating this nice little bit of like variation on the toes. I don't want you. Kind of push these in a little bit. All right, there you go. Let's grab the tip here and kind of tilt it just a bit. Kind of giving a little bit of that toe angle. You look at feet. I mean, feet all kind of various. They vary, but a lot of people's feet kind of have this little leaning. I guess mine do anyway. Maybe I'm just thinking of my feet. But a little bit of a lean. So now these toes are kind of all pushing towards one another. And it's just little detail touches like this that really can add to how you kind of set up things. And we're almost ready for some toenails. All right, there we go. Kind of squeeze those top zones in so they're not so awkward. Yeah, I like that. I like that grip up on the toe there. It's a cool little effect. Let's get some more of that. Boop, boop. Look at that. See, you got a lot of room to play with these toes, and they don't have to move too much. So maybe you want another edge loop, but you really almost don't need it for toes. But at this point now, look at that. So we got these little very toe-like. The big toe could probably be a little bigger. I am totally not going with the Skyrim reference I have at this point. I kind of just, I don't know, I'm just sort of excited about making fun little toes. So I'm just going to go my own route with this. And base it off of more of a human kind of foot, almost. They do have like little pads. I added in the fact that these could have like little foot pads down here. All these little pieces. See, I evened them out by grabbing all of them and kind of evening them. And there's still not enough arch, but you know what? Too much arch. You start getting kind of some weird things. Let's try that now, just a little bit. Yeah, it would need to be, I feel, a little more rounded. So, you know what? It might even work better just to grab some of my tool here. Kind of run it through here to give a little more roundness to this. There we go. That's better. All right, and you know, that's sort of the process. And let's push this one up. Push, push. There we go. See? And we can probably pull this out a little bit here. There we go. Yeah, this foot's really starting to come together here. Nice, well-rounded foot. See? There you go. I could keep going. You can keep going. There's always a refinement level. But at this point, I mean, it feels pretty good for the model. I'm going to do claws on the toes too, so I'll go over that next video. So there you go. Thank you. Yeah, make sure to save.